Good evening and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build 2 model kits and to hang out with all of you. 3, technically. Anyway, I'm going to throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, and if you're a tier 2, you get the blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can use other people's emotes, maybe global emotes, or you can just say hi. Or if you want, you can be a lurker and not say anything at all. We got Lashbrook here. What's up, Lashbrook? Happy to have you. John is here. Hell yeah. Welcome, John. Happy to have you here as well. This is the intro portion of the stream, if you're new, where I just kind of hang out, chat with y'all. We'll wait to see if a few more friends want to join us, and then we get into it. John just subscribed at tier 1. That's 10 months saying they'll make a Zaku 2 out of anything. Indeed. Thank you so much. We're going to hit the old applause there. The applause, the applause, the applause. And then if it jumps up, you never know these days. If it jumps up to 46 on my ticker here, I will update, and there will be 46 out of 50. If it doesn't do that, we'll stay at 45. No problem. Either way, the goal is to get to 50. But that's besides the point. Yeah, so I got the Kenbu right here. This is the Kenbu. You can see there's the Kenbu. We got to finish an arm for the Kenbu, finish the head, build a gun. The sword is just one piece. There's no building with the sword. But we got to take the sword out of the sprue and put it on there. Aristophan just subscribed at tier 2 for 46 months, saying good things on the internet. Number 46, Pat building on Twitch. Thank you so much, Aristophan. Let's go ahead and we're going to hit the applause there as well. The applause, the applause, the applause. If you'd like, folks, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, and the Scythe emote in the chat. And, you know, if you're tier 2, like Aristophan, you get that blue emote you can throw in there. Thank you very much, John. Thank you very much, Aristophan, for resubbing. And we are close to a hype train. Got like, if you wanted to get on board, we could get, we're not in a hype train yet. We could get on one. It could pull into the station if you're so inclined, but it's optional. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, well, Electronica just subscribed with Prime. That's 11 months, so thank you very much. Let's hit the applause there. And we are indeed in a hype train. I don't have a choo-choo sound, but that also brings us up to 46 subscribers. So I got to update this, not move it, update it. We are currently at 46 out of 50. Thank you so much for using your Twitch Prime. Electronica, appreciate that very much. Welcome, as always, everybody. But yeah, we got like some time to do more if you want to get in on it. Get on the train, you get some motes. It's cool. It's just a way to try to encourage people to get on board the hype train. Tonight's agenda. Finish the Kenbu, start the Hello Kitty Char Zaku 2 combo set, where you build Hello Kitty, you build Char Zaku 2, like the SD version or the EX version, depending on who you talk to, and then you build the parts you need so that you could put the Hello Kitty head with a separate helmet onto, with an adapter, onto the Zaku 2. And then you can, it's not ever suggested, but you can put the Zaku 2's head on the Hello Kitty body. And then you got yourself just like kind of strong bad. That's just a bonus thing you can do if you wanted to. But we can do that. That's the next thing we're building that was bought anonymously off my Amazon wishlist. And we'll talk about a little bit more about my wishlist in just a second. Tonight, we're going to work on these kits. We're going to talk about the Forbidden Door card, which in the time, I literally wrote, copied and pasted it and put it in an order that I want to talk about it. And while I was doing that, the card got updated like today because it's cursed. The show is cursed and people kept getting injured, or in the case of one wrestler has a fever and could not fly internationally. Because just everything is just up in the air. Sorry, Takahashi Hiromu. You are not going to be in that 8. You are no longer a dude with attitude. Maybe in your heart, but you're not going to wrestle with the dudes with attitude. But yeah, we'll talk about Food and Door, talk about my birthday wrap up, probably talk about the world. But Daryl can still come right last. I don't think Daryl is flying internationally. Um, um, and talking about a trip in August I have. And we're going to start with that probably because I want to talk about it. But first, I got to reply to my own tweet, see if we can get a few more friends to come in here because that would be sweet. So we'll see if we can get that. If we don't, that's okay. We're going to go over to the main feed here, the overhead. There's our Kenbu. So we're gonna work on the Kenbu there. Working on the arm here. We got to get some parts together to work on this arm. Okay, so quick hits. We'll start with quick hits, then we'll get into some deep shit. Maybe not. Quick hits. My birthday was really fun. My actual birthday on Thursday was nice. Yesterday, went out to dinner with my parents. Went to go get some Mexican food. I filled myself with a very large steak quesadilla filled with onions and peppers and cheese, and it was a whole fucking lot, and it was very good. And then also like rice and some other stuff and plenty of chips. The place we went to, very good chips, made fresh right in the store, the restaurant, and a good salsa. So yeah, did that. That was very fun. That was kind of the end of the birthday festivities. People bought some stuff off my wish list. I got a Lego set that arrived today. I have not shot a video. I'm going to try to do a mailbag of at least like 2 of the 3 things. Somebody purchased Ho-Oh, the Pokemon Ho-Oh. So that's a model kit that I'll be building in the future as well. And then also, somebody bought me that table. And I got to be honest with you, folks. I did not expect anyone to buy me that table. So when that arrives, I'm going to see how that works. The hope is that if it's a smaller table and a sturdy table, that it can hold the weight of the 3 monitors that I have set up without... Okay, hype train's over. That's cool. Got some emotes now. Enjoy emotes if you... I got a cat. Choo-choo cat. That's fun. Thank you. For the subscribers that made that possible. That's very fun. So what was it? Oh yeah. So I got that table. The hope is the small square table will have the 3 monitors on its stand without causing table shake. Because right now I get some table shake. Now the camera is not mounted to the monitor stand. So when the monitor causes, because the table shakes, the monitors shake, then the camera would shake. But the table still shakes. And that's not good. So the hope is the new table won't shake because it will only have that on it. And it won't have like either nothing, like a long table with nothing on it, or my computer, which is on there. So the computer goes back to the floor on a platform. That's fine. And that should work. And then the other option is I have a card table that currently the stand that holds my camera is on this card table. I could instead put the monitor stand on the card table, which is a little lower than the build table will be, but shouldn't affect my life too much. That I don't, because I could also put it on like, I could raise it up by putting something on the card table so the monitor was still level, and then attach and still have the monitor or the camera attached to that table as well, because then me touching the table wouldn't cause the monitors to move, even if there was table shake. But also, then that table wouldn't have much on it anyway. So theoretically, there wouldn't be some table shake. Because the table shake didn't start until I added a 3rd monitor. But I can't go back to just 2 monitors. I am too used to having a 3rd monitor. It helps so much, especially like... also for my birthday, played Jackbox on Wednesday. Having OBS on the top monitor, and then having in tabs like in cut windows, chat and the Jackbox.tv, and then having like the full screen captured on the other monitor is just I need that. I need that to work. It's so nice. I used to have to cover up OBS while I was doing that, and like I don't like that because it's just even with the buttons I have on the Stream Deck, I still would prefer to have just like to be able to see what I'm doing with it. So it's a lot better. Hey, Shepard is following. Thank you very much, Shepard. Appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. Going to do a little paneling on this arm before we attach it. We'll get the brown marker out for just a little bit here on the red. Okay, so yeah, so I got some birthday stuff off my wish list, which is very kind of people. Appreciate it very much. Especially the table, unexpected. The little fun model kits, totally cool, very fun. I look forward to putting those together. Announcement. You heard it here second because I tweeted about it. Because I'm going to New York for a couple days in August. This is not, I'm not moving back to New York right now. I still plan on doing that. I am going to New York for a couple days. This is my big, the plane tickets were my big present from my parents, which is lovely of them to be able to help facilitate me going to New York to see some shit. Indeed. I want to say I'm from there. I spent 20 years of my life in New York and would have continued to do that if not for the pandemic, which made it so that I had to stop working and eventually move here where I'm now, which I did not want to do. So I'll go back to New York for a little bit. The goal is to take some meetings. I'm going to go to some shows, go to a couple theaters. I already have a Monday breakfast set up because as soon as I posted that on Facebook, somebody reached out saying, hey, we wanted to talk in person. Let's try to figure out, let's talk in person. So I already got that set up. But the idea is that I'm going to go in person, talk to some people, see a theater I haven't seen yet that opened pretty recently, that I have friends that are working there, kind of just like chat with them about things, pitch myself as a person that can make things happen and that people should want me to move back to New York to work at their things and for their things. I am also going to try to make time for friends. That is not the main goal, is to see friends, but I would like to see friends while I'm up there, get some coffee, hang out with some people, or, go for coffee, not get it because I don't drink coffee, but like be with them as they get coffee, kind of just spend some time with people that I miss and would like to see, pick some brains of some people, go to my storage unit. And if you're like, Pat, when you're at your storage unit, are you getting all of the League of Heels stuff that you have in storage? Yes. Are you going to use that stuff in any way, shape, or form in the year 2022? No? Question mark? I'm not going to PAX West. I have no plans to go to PAX West. I am undecided about PAX Unplugged. If I go to PAX Unplugged, it will not be to do League of Heels, because we did that once. But I do think that I do think the possibility exists that I will do League of Heels stuff at a PAX in the future. And I don't want to have to go to New York to get stuff. I want to have it with me and ready, so that when the time is right, I can just go and use that. Also, I have that Pi, the Raspberry Pi that's in the NES, the fake NES case. They had fake Lego. I'd like to use that Pi here in South Carolina as a Pi hole, so that we don't get ads and such. So I'd like to learn that. It'd just be nice to use it. I just like to use that Pi hole for things around here. But there are a couple things in there that would be nice to have. There's a couple cables I would like to get, just things to make my life easier. I'm also going to bring, my suitcase will be a lot of t-shirts that I want to trade for other t-shirts and kind of like spruce up the old inventory, because when I moved, I did not know how long I would be here. Did I think it would be 2 years? No. I did not think I would be in South Carolina for 2 years. So I took a bunch of stuff, but not enough things. So I'm going to see what I have as far as t-shirts. Basically t-shirts and maybe some dress shirts, see if they fit. But yeah, I'm going to like bring some clothes up, trade them out, bring some stuff back with me. And then also the League of Heels stuff will come with me as well. Because it would just be nice to have that stuff. All right, arm done. Finish this arm. So yeah, that is, if you're interested, August 26th through the 29th will be when I am in New York. Now, that's Friday the 26th. That means Saturday the 28th, the 27th. Not a regular Pat Bear stream. If the Airbnb that I'm in, if the Wi-Fi is decent enough, because I will have my laptop, I will do a stream. That could be doing like an easy Lego set that I brought with me. That could be just a chatting stream where we hang out. We don't build a model kit, but we're like talk and whatever, and like just kind of like I'll talk about New York and how I've been there for like 2 days and all that. Maybe I'll show you like the League of Heels stuff that I've gotten from storage. I don't quite know what that'll be yet. That's up in the air because I can't tell you for sure that'll happen because I have to be in the Airbnb and test the Wi-Fi. Because like Wi-Fi can't like, you know, if it's just a webcam pointing at me, that's fine. Even 2 webcams, one pointed at me, one pointed at what I'm building. It's also like not bad. But when you add in like really terrible Wi-Fi or like a connection that's just always going to be like dumping out and like lots of drop frames and stuff, that's not fun for people. So I'm not interested in doing that. But I'll get up there and give it a test and see if we can make it happen. Because if we can make it happen, we're going to fucking make it happen. Come on. Now, Monday the 29th, normally I would stream. The goal is to do that. The airport that I currently am flying out of is minutes away from this house. So I'm going to stream that Monday night because I get back I land at 8 p.m. I'm not going to stream at 9 p.m. that night because that's unrealistic because I have to like go to, you know, baggage claim and get my stuff, and if there's any delays. So I'm saying 10 p.m. that night. I'm going to do a late night Monday night stream. And by late night, I mean 10 p.m. instead of 9 p.m. Eastern, so just an hour later than normal. Because that, to me, seems like a thing that like makes sense, that I would just do that. Because that gives me time to, I mean, honestly, also I'm going to get on that plane at 6 o'clock, and I'm going to land at 8 o'clock, and then get my luggage, and then like go get picked up, and then like come back. Like I want to eat something, and also like, you know, my computer setup is turnkey, but it still requires like some effort. You know, it doesn't just like instantly ready to go. So I don't want to like run into like a delay and then be like, oh, actually I'm not streaming at 9 o'clock. Sorry, I've been promoting it all day, but I'm not. Like no. So we'll still do. We'll say 10 p.m. that day. But that's in August. That's the end of August. It's like 2 months away. So like, don't worry about it. But the plane tickets have been purchased, and the Airbnb has been secured. It's near the airport, which isn't important to me at all, and doesn't really mean anything in this instance because when I land, I'm probably not going to be able to get into the place I'm staying anyway, so I'm probably just going to go to my storage unit, which is in another borough than where I'm staying. And then also, I'm going to check out of the place and then spend the whole day in New York because my flight's not till 6 o'clock. So that's also completely unnecessary and silly of me. But I wasn't like, oh, I should stay near the airport. It was mostly like, what place seems very inexpensive and not terrible, and the reviews are not bad. Because those are my two things. I wanted to stay in a place where the reviews were not bad and the price was right. Because places are, even terrible Airbnbs are still expensive in New York, especially now that people are just traveling willy-nilly with no consequences and no frills. I did look at one place that was still in heavy COVID, and I chose not to stay there, not because they were like, all of their rules were really like conscious of that. I chose to stay there because it was like very far away from any kind of public transportation, and I would require that because I'm going to have a heavy suitcase full of stuff both ways. So I was like, oh, I need there to be like, I don't want to get to a car if I don't have to. But that place was like, no, the kitchen is not allowed. You can't use the kitchen. It was just like, oh, okay, sure, all right, I guess, okay. I mean, I can use the bathroom though, right? And it was like, you can use the bathroom, but you can't use the kitchen. I was like, well, I get it. Trying to protect yourself. Anyway, so that's August. That'll be cool. And of course, we'll be talking more about that as we get closer to the date. Try to figure that all out. Okay. And luckily, the Airbnb that I'm staying in allowed me to do the deposit, so I don't have to pay all of it at once, which is nice. I have the money, but it's nice to not spend all of it immediately. That's just nice to have, especially because I did not get a Twitch payout this month, but next Twitch payout is going to be nice and big because we had the money I almost had enough of, and then other money thanks to generous support of viewers like you. So thank you very much for that. Let's see. Other things to talk about. Let's see. Again, so yeah, just to really put a fine point on it, as far as my travel stuff, that's the end of August. No, maybe a stream on Saturday, but a non-traditional stream on Saturday, and then streaming later on Monday, so I can still do it. Because either my Monday flight back at a reasonable price was either like 8 in the morning or 6 at night. And so I went with 6 at night. Also, I'm flying Delta, not Spirit. I'm so glad because Delta used to not fly to New York from the local small airport in my area. So you would have to. So what I would end up doing was either you would take a flight to a larger airport and then transfer to, so and do that, or the other option that was available was to drive 2 hours to Charleston for a flight, which is also not super reasonable. So instead, gonna just go ahead and take a Delta flight, because if I can avoid Spirit, I'm winning. It feels good to win, because Spirit is a bad airline, and I don't want to get stuck somewhere. By somewhere, I mean the airport, trying to figure out how to get where I need to go, because Spirit has shit the bed. So, excited to not be flying Spirit. Let's see, other things we could talk about here. Okay, the Forbidden Door card. I'm going to be watching this tomorrow. I will give my thoughts on Monday probably about some of the matches, but I'm not going to go super in depth about every match on Sunday, or on Monday I should say, because there's just going to be a whole lot of matches to talk about. But I can give you my overall thoughts of the card. As I said, still subject to change. The buy-in has 3 matches. This card is stacked. It is, in my opinion, too many matches. There's just too much happening, but let's go through it. This is AEW and New Japan doing their Forbidden Door show, teaming up Almost every match on the card is someone from or multiples of AEW versus multiples of New Japan. There are a couple of matches where there are people from New Japan teaming with people from AEW on both sides, but most of them or multi-person matches. There is one match that features two ladies wrestling each other. They are both AEW wrestlers because New Japan does not have a women's division. Hooray! Time for Forbidden Door talk. Yes, we are doing Forbidden Door. I think I'm pretty committed to buying it, but like I'll wait until last minute just in case. I hear you, Lastbrook. I feel like if anyone, like tomorrow, we'll know if one of these big matches is gonna change. I think they have to tell you, or I'd hope. We'll find out. But yeah, buy-in match: Max Caster of the Acclaimed, Billy Gunn, fucking Mr. Ass Billy Gunn, and his sons Austin and Colton Gunn are taking on Alex Colgan, Yu Amera, the DKC, and Kevin Knight. That's Knight with a K. I believe all of those gentlemen that are not Guns and Max Caster are from the dojo. I believe the Los Angeles branch of New Japan's dojo. The DKC just wrestled on Rampage. So that's a buy-in that is just like, get some people on the card, have an excuse for Max Caster to rap, and then for the Colton and Austin to get the name of the city they are in wrong. When they found out they were wrestling, they thought that meant they were going to Japan, and they were talking about the Tokyo Dome, which is funny because they are terrible. So that is funny. They want that Acclaimed pop. Yes, they do. And they want, whatever. Got some stuff on there. Get a grown man in a wheelchair saying "Scissor me, Daddy" to a very strong, muscular, huge man who seemingly loves the Acclaimed more than he loves his sons, which is also very funny. It's some good stuff. Anyway, that match will be whatever. I look forward to finding one of those wrestlers, like something interesting about these wrestlers that I know nothing about. I always look forward to that. Also in the buy-in, QT Marshall. QT getting in there, getting that money in the buy-in money. And Aaron Solo versus Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi. Yes, they're not bad. Don't get me wrong. I do like them. I am somewhat aware of Yoshihashi, and I am looking forward to this match. I assume this is literally in place to give New Japan more wins, so that this is my thought. This is my big picture thought. I will never understand people that like Yoshihashi. Oh. To each their own, Lashbrook. Here's my thoughts. My thought coming into this is New Japan will have more on paper wins in it's a New Japan people versus AEW people, like when it's that kind of line. But the biggest wins will be AEW. Not the big one. That one I don't think. But one of the other big ones will be. A couple of the other big ones will be AEW wins. Some of the belts. That's my thought on this. Is that's how this is going to go down. So I feel like both those matches are going to go with New Japan wins. That is my big predictions. Pat Bear's big predictions. Let's keep paneling this head because we're almost here. Mox has to win the belt. Don't want to do a storyline with AEW belt going to Japan. I hear you. Yeah. Well, we'll get to there when we get to there. Also, Swerve in Our Glory, Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland versus El Desperado and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. This one will go against the grain, and I predict Swerve and Our Glory will win, but they're still not on the same page because I don't think the buy-in is where Swerve finally fully turns heel or Keith Lee turns heel and they start feuding with each other because that's coming. But I don't think it comes on the buy-in of a pay-per-view. I think that comes on a weekly show. And I do think that's coming. I don't know who is turning on who, but one will turn on the other. But again, I don't believe that will be tomorrow evening. I love Desperado. He has a great mask. Swerve is better heel than Keith Lee. Totally. I agree. But also, AEW doesn't always necessarily do the thing. AEW likes to go against the grain on occasion. So it certainly, I wouldn't put it past them to try something different. Like try a Keith Lee heel turn. Because Keith Lee, here's the thing. Swerve isn't wrong for eliminating Keith Lee. He should apologize. He maybe shouldn't have taunted Keith after he eliminated Keith. But he's not wrong. And also, it's weird. He's the one that wants this partnership to continue, which also could lead to him, being like, I didn't actually want us to do whatever, whatever. But I don't know. I don't want to think too much about it. I just think they're going to win this match, but still not be on the same page. Okay, then the actual matches on the actual card. Dudes with Attitudes, which is a name that Sting has used in the past, which is Sting, Darby Allin, and Shingo Takagi versus the Bullet Club, which is the Young Bucks and El Fantasmo with Hikuleo in their corner. Originally, this was supposed to be a 4-on-4, as I said earlier, but Takahashi can't fly because of a fever, is what they have said. So it is now a 3-on-3. It's a trios match, and it's kind of interesting to have the Bucks. I'm glad the Bucks are not defending their titles on this card because there's enough. Because I think that would take away from the big tag match, the three team tag match. Eddie Kingston, Shota Umino, and Wheeler Yuta, a.k.a. Mox's kids, versus Chris Jericho, Minoru Suzuki, and Sammy Guevara, with the stipulation that the winner gets the advantage in the Blood and Guts match coming up. So one would assume that Jericho team will win because heels having the advantage is better, but Eddie Kingston, proud and powerful, and the Blackpool Combat Club often act like heels. So I also could see them winning and just having the advantage and no one saying anything about it. Last Burgas, what does that even mean? A Blood and Guts match is War Games. It's just War Games. It's just War Games, and they don't have the name. It's two rings covered in a steel cage. And the advantage means it starts as a two-person fight. The third person that comes in, the advantage will be, the winner of this match says who's going to be the first person to come in there. Oh, sorry, last word. So if it starts as a two-person fight, then the advantage would be which team gets their second person to come in. So they have a 2-on-1. I'm pretty sure that is what the advantage is in this case. It's similar to War Games. So traditionally, that would be two heels working on that. Or it could be that they get to decide the order, which is really ridiculous because then it would just say, well, all of us versus one person, so that they probably won't do that. But yeah, so that's the old advantage. We got one sticker left to put on this gun, which we need the hand for. We're body complete, by the way. We finished the body of this while I was talking wrestling. We're going to keep talking wrestling. Zack Sabre Jr. versus to be announced. This will be the newest member of the Blackpool Combat Club, as picked by Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson, I should say. Bryan Danielson is picking the person that will be entering this match, fighting Zack Sabre Jr. and then also taking Bryan's spot in Blood and Guts. Now we have thoughts there from Stevie that it's going to be Cesaro. That's where the good money is. I would say that's the smart money is Cesaro. That is the first person I thought of. Now people are like, well, can Cesaro do these kind of brawls? Have we seen that? And to which I would say, well, you know, before there was the Brawling Brutes, there was the Bar. And the Bar was pretty fucking brutal sometimes. Also, on his indie run, he has a lot of history with Eddie Kingston. So that would be interesting that it's Cesaro. Claudio. Should say Claudio. The idea that Claudio would be coming in. Yes, and also, the thing is, he doesn't have to be, because he's a good wrestler, he doesn't have to necessarily be a incredibly great like fighter, like brawler, because the Blackpool Combat Club is like, yeah, they can fight, but they also fucking can really wrestle. Yes. And then you bring in Cesaro, who has beef with Kingston. Danielson has beef with Kingston, and like Eddie Kingston loves Moxley and has a respect for Shota, for Wheeler, I should say, for being like, for being a tough kid, and also respects William Regal because Eddie Kingston loves old wrestlers. He loves old, hard-hitting wrestlers. So, like, he doesn't really care about, like, Daniel Bryan. He doesn't give a shit about Bryan Danielson. But he does care very much about, like, William Regal, which I think is great. And it just keeps a lot of, like, old history that we don't, it's okay if you don't know it, but if you do know it, it's even better. Anyway, it also could be somebody else. One person, it's definitely not Johnny Elite, John Morrison. It can't be John Morrison. And I know people are saying that mostly as a joke that it would be John Morrison, but like they kept it a secret at AAA that John Morrison was Matt Hardy's tag partner, because people were like, no. So I know that's a joke that the internet is like, oh, that's who it's gonna be. Thatcher. Thatcher could be another one. Great technical wrestler, good brawler, available. Johnny Gargano is going to be in Chicago tomorrow for a signing. He has claimed that he was already planning to be there, and it's unrelated to this. I don't see Johnny Gargano fitting in Blackpool Combat Club. I think, he can work. I honestly think that he is too multi-dimensional for that group. I just think that he can be so funny that he doesn't need that. Oh, yeah, it could be Biff Busick, a.k.a. Oni Lorcan. I believe Oni is focusing on poker, but I don't know if he's taken indie dates or not. Buff, I should say. Or Bill, something Busick. But he would definitely fit in and be a good addition. But I think that I don't think he stopped wrestling, but I think he's not focusing on wrestling, if I remember correctly. So I don't know. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff that can go there. Pac versus Miro versus Malachi Black versus Clark Connors for the AEW All-Atlantic Championship, which is a new title that can be defended in other countries, in other companies, which is going up back a bit to like some of the NWA championships that like appeared in New Japan, which I always thought was really cool. Now, Clark Connors is in there because the person that somebody else got hurt, and so he got that spot. it's not going to be Clark Connors. I don't know who it's going to be. I think it's going to be somebody that is willing to travel overseas, that is willing and interested in going to other countries and going to other promotions to represent this title. So even though I think Miro is the right choice for Miro's... Two ways. Miro is the right choice. Malachi Black is the best choice. Pac is the guy that will tour other promotions. So it's hard. Because actually Miro losing and blaming God for his loss is better for his character, in my opinion. I don't think that Miro needs a belt. I just don't think he needs one. I think he loses and he's mad at God. He could win and shove it in God's face, I guess. But I think losing there furthers his storyline better than winning. And I think Malachi Black winning is better for his faction to have a title. I think that helps the faction quite a bit. But also I think Pac would travel all over the world and be a good ambassador of AEW and the belt and defend it and have like premium kick-ass matches all over the place. So honestly, I feel like any of them, it would be great. And I think this is one of the ones where like New Japan doesn't win so that it's okay, you know, like this is not one because it involves a new title. I also think it's weird to have somebody who is not an AEW wrestler win the very first of a new title that is an AEW title that, again, obviously other people can win, but I just think that's weird. So, in my opinion, that's where we're going with that. I don't know who wins it. I think it should be Malachi Black. I can also understand why it would be Miro, and I can also understand why it would be Pac. It would probably be weird for Pac like to win just because his win record has not been great. But also, if he like took the pin for Malachi Black, then that works with their continuing storyline, and so that there's something there. Let's see. FTR, who are the Ring of Honor champions, tag team champions, facing Jeff Cobb and the Great O'Khan, who are the IWGP champions, tag champions, versus Roppongi Vice for the Ring of Honor IWGP tag titles. They will be both. Now, not up for grabs are the AAA titles, which also FTR have. This is a big question to ponder. Is it possible that like FTR end up holding belts for 3 companies, none of whom are AEW? Because even though obviously, Ring of Honor is owned by Tony Khan, and that is important to note. It's not that AEW owns Ring of Honor. It's that Tony Khan personally owns Ring of Honor. The person that runs, obviously AEW, one of the people that runs AEW, but still, he just personally owns Ring of Honor. So I don't think it's Roppongi Vice. I do think it's either FTR or Great O'Khan. Now, if it was Roppongi Vice, that's interesting. I think that's a very interesting way to go, and would be weird. But I don't think it's Roppongi Vice. I think FTR having 3 belts or 3 championships is a lot of championships, and maybe too many championships. We got a backpack to put on. We're putting a backpack on. Just clips on the back here. Just kind of pressure fits on the back, which is neat. That's where you put your sword and your gun if you don't want to have your sword and your gun out, which we do want to have our sword and our gun out. Oh, and then also you could have it so like it it like feeds up and opens, so you can like reach for it, which is neat for posing. If you want to pose this bad boy up, you can do that. That's kind of cool. But we're not going to worry about that. But we will put it on because I just need to have the backpack on. I don't know. I see this as FTR, but Jeff Cobb and Okan could win. That gives them that faction more belts, the Ring of Honor titles. They bring those titles back to Japan. They're talking about the Ring of Honor championships there. It's not it's not the World Championship, but it is it is a belt. That's interesting. That could be something. I'm not like against that as an idea. Where's E219? Here it is. Sword. We do have some extra parts that are from the other kit, because this kit is like the other kit in the series. You can get there's some other parts there that make more sense on that kit that are just included. Oops. That are not used on this kit, which is fine. It's fine that that's like that. So yeah, I'm going to say FTR, but I could also see it being Jeff Cobb and Great-O-Khan. The idea that FTR just keeps winning titles. Also, FTR, Cash Wheeler took the pin and Rampage, so maybe that means they're going to get the win. I don't know. Thunder Rosa versus Toni Storm for the AEW Women's Championship. Too early for Toni Storm. Also, there's been talk of Thunder Rosa making some appearances in other promotions and going on like a goodwill tour with the title. Can't say for sure that's gonna happen, but that is the rumor mill is saying. Yeah, this has no build. It doesn't make any sense. Maybe shenanigans, and Toni Storm doesn't take a clean loss because of outside interference, like it's a double DQ or something. I can see something like that. Oh, there is a thing I can build. There is one more thing. I forgot. There's the... I don't remember what this thing is. Oh, you can build it. Yeah. There's like a shield thing. It's like kind of an arm shield, and I can put that on there if I don't want some of these arms to come together the way they do. I'll build that now, I guess. I'm going to build it because it's got a knife blade on it. So Raven had the most delicious biscuit. That sounds great. I'm glad. So yeah, Thunder Rosa wins this one. Let's try to get through the rest of this here. Will Ospreay versus Orange Cassidy for the IWGP United States title. This could be a unexpected barn burner because a lot of people don't give Orange Cassidy the credit he deserves for being a fucking quality wrestler. But do I think that Orange Cassidy is going to win the IWGP United States title? No, I do not think that. This is an Ospreay win. This might be a heartbreaker of an Ospreay win, but this is an Ospreay win. Jon Moxley. So here's the thing. Which is going to be the main event? Is it going to be for the interim AEW World Championship, or is it going to be for the IWGP World Heavyweight title? I think Moxley and Tanahashi do not close out. I think it is Jay White, Hangman Page, Okada, and Cole that close out. So, Moxley and Tanahashi, it's Moxley. This could be a great fight. This could be a good fight. I don't know what kind of fight it's going to be. But I can't see Tanahashi being interim champion. I can see Moxley Punk down the line. I can see Moxley being the champion and facing someone in Combat Club in the time. Or Adam Page in the time. Lashbrook is going to bet on Tanahashi. Yeah, I don't see it. I just don't. I think the titles that go... If any title is going to go to New Japan that was in AEW, my guess is it would be Cobb and Great-O-Khan, even though I said FTR. I just don't see it. And then I think Jay White or Okada win. It's not Adam Cole. It's not Hangman Adam Page. Jay White just won the belt at Dominion, so I don't know if they're going to hotshot it back to Okada, but Okada could pin somebody else, and then White could go for a rematch, and we can continue this. But I do think it is, honestly, I do think it's Hangman Adam Page takes the pin. Although Jay White, like, forming an uneasy alliance with Adam Cole and then double crossing him and pinning Adam Cole is fucking funny and great, and I wouldn't mind seeing that. I do think that Hangman is going to take the pin just so he feels like, oh, why did I even challenge these people? And it just goes to his, like, depressed state. I think that's way more interesting. This model kit's done. I'm going to take a photo. But, yeah. I love the idea of him, like, being really depressed and then being like, should I challenge Moxley? I do want my belt back. I don't know. Okada winning it back would just make me pissed. They teased us with Hangman Okada and then didn't deliver. Yes, Lashbrook. I agree. That's why I'm starting to think it's going to be Jay White pinning like Page or Cole, and then Okada and having an actual later rematch with Jay White. Because I do think that is the better way to book that. But, yeah. I mean, Tanahashi could win. Lashbrook is betting on it. Tanahashi could pull it off. Take the belt overseas for a while so we don't have to see the belt, you know? Have a couple more dream matches. I also don't know how they're going to work well. You know, those two are going to fight each other, so I don't know. I don't know how that match is going to be. All right, that is it. Yeah, that's probably it. I don't see New Japan letting AEW have their top belt. No, I don't think so. I don't think the guy that lost to CM Punk is going to win the IWGP World Heavyweight title. And I also don't think Adam Cole is going to win that outside of being a New Japan wrestler. So I think Jay White retains by pinning Cole after a double cross, or Page to further his sad boy storyline. I think Okada isn't involved in the win there. All right, so this is the Kenbu. MAILeS Kenbu is done. We have completed the Kenbu. Kenbu is bust. I don't have strong feelings about this kit. I do like a kit that gives me a sword and a shield that has a knife on it. I think is fun. The gun is whatever. It's got a lot of angles, and I don't hate that. It has a like unfinished feel to it. It also, because the way the legs are built, and it almost feels like it should transform into something. Like it should, like you should be able to do this and fold up, and it becomes something else. And I like that it doesn't do that, but it should do that. You kind of hate the joint design. Yeah, Lashbrook, I don't mind the joint design because it's serving this idea of like, oh, this should like do something. Like it feels a little haphazard in a way that I don't dislike. I don't know. I also like the backpack, like pressure fit backpack. I think that's neat. And the idea that like the sword like lives here and then you can, like however the sword clips in. I can't remember how that goes. Whatever. The sword can pop up. I don't know. I don't dislike that at all. I think the arms are weird. The fact that there's like this gap there in the arm is weird, but yeah, I don't hate it. I didn't watch the show because I didn't hear anything good about it, so I never checked out the show. Maybe I will at some point. We're gonna take the extra pieces that we don't need out of this because we don't need these things. Put them away. And then we're going to go over here to, let's see, we want to bring up the kitty and get rid of the Kenbu. Hello Kitty time. It's Hello Kitty time. So we're going to build a Hello Kitty. We're going to build a Zaku 2. Char Zaku 2 to be specific. And then we're going to put the extra parts we need. We're going to get the extra parts we need and move some stuff around so that we can... build ourselves a Hello Kitty Char Zaku 2 combo. But I think we'll start with Kitty because that's where they want us to start, is with Kitty. Now, the kitty, apparently we do not need any tools. It's like the entry grade kind of thing. We don't need any tools to assemble kitty. But we will need tools to assemble the Char Zaku too, because that kit requires parts to build, or tools to build that. So, you know, it is what it is. We'll figure it out. Let's at least get settled and started. We got our A. We got our kitty B. And we've got C, which I think is mostly just the other one here. We've got A, B. We have our other A. And then our parts to make the Zaku. So we got our special parts there. And the visor. And then we've got some stickers. We've got our clearly our stickers that are for the Zaku 2 and our new stickers because they look different. There. Not too many stickers for either, which is great, but we do have a few stickers to put on. So we'll set those stickers aside. And then, yeah, this is mostly, I believe this is just all A and B. The other A and B. I do like the apple as like a plate. You can just put the kitty on the apple, and that's just cute. That's cute. Lots of this is cute. And we will get to that after a pause for the cause. Because we're right at 10 on the dot. So we are going to talk... we're going to take a pause for the cause. If you are new to the stream, you're like, Pat, I don't know what pause for the cause means. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to talk to you about ways you can support the channel. All of the things I'm going to talk about are optional. None of these are things you have to do. But if you would like to do any of these things, you're more than welcome to do them. These are all ways to support what I do here. You being here is the most important thing. Watching an archive later, watching the VODs, chatting in chat, just hanging out. All these things are helpful and appreciate it. But if you did want to become a subscriber, here are some, or support the channel financially, here's some ways. First and foremost, let's throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the mode in the chat. Subscribing is an easy way to support what I do. Also, the blue emote, if you were a tier 2 subscriber, you got those as well. But yeah, throwing those emotes in is an easy way to support what I do here by being a subscriber. Cash Money. We saw tonight people resubbing with Cash Money. Also, someone used their Prime Gaming token because they have Amazon Prime link with their Twitch. They get that cool thing that comes in. Bada boom. Hey, you've now supported me financially. And I appreciate it. That is one way to do it. There are other ways. You could gift a sub. You saw the gift sub leaderboard up there. We've got Dark Web Prosciutto and Francium and Aristophan. All gifted subs this month, which is fantastic. Thank you, everybody, for gifting a sub. We are currently at 46 out of 50. The goal is 50. I stop talking about how many people have subscribed when we hit 50, and I don't bring it up till we go below 50. So if you wanted to gift a sub to somebody in the community, you could do that. Also, bits and coins, always appreciated. Thank you to everybody that has ever become a subscriber. I also have a Patreon. I have patreon.com/PatBear. There's a $1, a $3, a $5, and a $10 tier. There's different rewards for the different tiers. Take a look, see if there's something that appeals to you. Obviously, subscribing to my YouTube channel is free. YouTube.com/PatBear. Subscribing is free. Join there. I put out a new video every other Monday and every Wednesday. So you can take a look at that. See if there's something you want to check out. Watch a video or two. Also, if you watch videos there and you see ads, I get some money because of those ads. So watch a video. Let's see. Also, also you could join there. You could join $2 a month. When I hit $100 a month, I get a payout from Google AdSense, and then I buy model kits with that money. Also, direct donations, because those are monthly things. But what about a one-time thing? Through my coffee or through PayPal, you can do a one-time donation. Anything I make through donations, through YouTube, including AdSense, through Patreon, through Twitch, goes to buying model kits and equipment. That is the easiest way to support what I do here, is just one of those monthly things because that way you don't have to worry about it. It just happens. With your Prime, you got to renew it. You'll know you ran out because you'll start seeing ads. You're like, what happened? So you can do all of that. Now, this kit that I'm just about to start, the Hello Kitty kit, somebody bought a gift card to USA Gundam Store and also alerted me saying, hey, I know this is on your Throne wish list, but it's available on USA Gundam Store. What if you use this gift card to buy the Hello Kitty kit, which I did, and I'm very happy to do that. Speaking of which, my Throne wish list, I have a wish list over on Throne. I just updated it pretty recently, put in some new stuff there. They really take privacy very seriously over there, so take a look at that and the ways they make it so that people can protect their identities and their location. It's very important in this day and age. Now, I also have an Amazon wish list, and that's the most normal, I would say, straightforward way to support what I do here by buying something for me to build. Anything you buy from USA Gundam Store with gift card, Throne, or my Amazon wish list, it jumps the queue. That's why we're building Hello Kitty now. That's why the next thing I build will either be a Lego set or a Ho-Oh model kit, because those came from my wish list and they get priority. Now, my Amazon wish list, I did also update pretty recently. I've got some inexpensive Lego stuff, some more expensive model kits, but still pretty cheap. Some car kits that I enjoy building, even though I don't care about cars, but I'll build a Lotus Evija. That seems cool. I don't know how to pronounce Evija. I'll learn. But I'll build a hypercar. But yeah, I got some high grade kits in there that I found hey, there's a Build Divers kit that I haven't built, and it's called the Enemy Gundam. It's a core Gundam. It's the only core Gundam. I think it's the only thing from Build Diver that I haven't built. And it's called the Enemy Gundam. And I was like, I should build that. And that's on the wish list. And a few other things that range in prices. And there's a Gundam Age kit that looks kind of cool. And I believe has flowers is an attachment, but that's also $44, so don't necessarily get that for me. But I put a bunch of more model kits in there, and also there's some equipment, because now that the table has been purchased, now the most expensive piece of equipment that you could purchase for me is an office chair. You just get me a chair that's better than the chair I'm sitting on, but you don't have to do that. These are optional things. You don't have to buy anything on my wish list, but if you do, I'll shoot a video about how you bought that thing, and it'll jump the queue. And if you buy gear, I still take a photo of the gear. I still talk about the gear that you've purchased, because that's the least I can do. And then we'll go here. A way to support me for free is just join my Discord. I post build photos. People post stuff they're working on. Not all the time. I think people are in a lull right now. I would love it if you're working on something and you're in the Discord. Post a photo of it. Let me see what you got. And if you haven't built anything in a while, maybe this is the push that you needed. Hey, it's the summer. You should build a model kit or a Lego set or a glue kit, a paper craft thing. Build those shelves you've been meaning to build. You've got 4 months. It's time for you to put together. It's time for you to build a birdhouse for someone's birthday. You've been heavy into video games for now. I hear you, Lashbrook, but if you're building, post photos because I like seeing that. I'm not putting any pressure on anybody. I'm just trying to be the positive force in your life, saying, "Hey, you like model kit building? You got a backlog, my friend. Get in there." A couple of video links for you to check out. I will have a new episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club up not this coming Monday, but the following Monday. So right now, the most recent Pat Bear's Anime Club video is me talking about the Unchosen Ones. That's right. It is an anime trope that there is a chosen one. Ichigo from Bleach is the chosen one. As the story goes on, they find more and more ways to make him even more and more special and necessary. But there are a lot of unchosen ones, like Goku. Goku is an unchosen one. Not supposed to be the hero of the story, not supposed to be the strongest person in the universe, but is, somehow. And I talk about a few that are well, maybe. And then one anime that just decided the main character who was probably the chosen one just isn't the main character anymore and has had several main characters, which is weird. But yeah, talked about the unchosen one and gave a few examples of that. And I think it's pretty good. And then Do You Remembaer is an ongoing video series where every week I read something on Wikipedia and I do my best to remember what I read and then talk about it. And I talked about Late Night with Conan O'Brien, a seminal work of television, my favorite talk show, especially late night talk show of all time. Very influential on comedy and also on me as a person specifically. So I just talked about Late Night, and it's a good way to give a shout out to like some people that I know that work there, like some of the Chicago dudes that made that show fucking work. And I'll try to remember as much as I could about the dates. And I gave a brief history of like how Conan got the job and like not necessarily talking about like the Leno shit later, but like the Leno shit that led to Letterman leaving, which led to NBC being like, "Oh, we did not think Letterman would leave," and then like eventually Conan getting the gig. So I talked about that, and then now we're gonna talk about some anime. We're just like gonna talk anime, and then we'll like get into it because there's some anime to talk about. So I'm gonna paste that. Also, real quick, I'm gonna drink some water because I need to. So we're going to dramatically transition back to the overhead. And actually, I'm going to reply to my tweet saying that it's Hello Kitty time, because it is. Real quick. It's time to build Hello Kitty. Boom. Let them know that because it's time to build a Hello Kitty. Got a Hello Kitty to build. We're also going to talk about anime. Haha. So we'll start with that. We're going to get Kitty's head. These instructions are not hard to read, but we are going to make sure that we're reading them properly because we don't want to mess anything up. So consider this Hello Kitty to be like an entry grade kit. So we're not going to we might use some panel lining. We're probably only going to panel line the Gundam and the Zaku 2 parts later. So right now we probably aren't going to do any panel lining on Hello Kitty's clothes, but we might. But we'll definitely do it on the Zaku 2 parts. But yeah, so we're just going to be removing these parts here. And putting them together as we go. So then we need this is A6, then we need A17. All right, so I'm going to talk about Spy Family first because depending on who you talk to, there was an hour of Kaguya-sama Love is War, the end of season 3. So either there were 2 episodes or it was a 2-part episode. Because Crunchyroll his website, or their thing is like, oh, is this yeah, they're like, this is the wrong piece. I got the back of the head instead of the front of the head. I'm like, this doesn't seem right because it wasn't right. Yeah. So basically, there's episode 12 and 13. Like in Japan, it just ran back to back. In streaming, it's episode 12 and episode 13. So we're going to talk about that second. We'll start with Spy Family. This is episode 12 of 12. This is the end of Core 1. Core 2 has been announced separately outside of the episode. We're getting more of the family. Lloyd, his wife, and their kid. In October, we're getting Core 2. And I'm just going to start off here right off the bat and say, we were teased about a dog joining, and I knew it wasn't coming this episode, but I'm still bummed. Even though I knew, in my heart of hearts, we weren't getting a dog in this episode. We didn't get a dog in this episode. We didn't get a dog. I wanted a dog in this episode. We did not get one. It's fine. Whatever. This is an alright episode, but what if there had been a dog? So that's Core 2. Anyway, yes, right? It was teased and then we didn't get it. I think they just teased it so they can sell merchandise about the dog between now and then, because they have been waiting to sell merchandise of that dog, because of course they would. want to do that. I think they just chose to put that dog in there so they could then, promote about how there's going to be a dog in season 2. That's just my thought on that. All right, so this, how do these go in? Gotta get these in so that we can get these whiskers in. Gotta get these whiskers in. Anyway, this episode did have some good shit in it. Like, it just didn't have a dog. Lloyd has been getting a lot of extra missions. Like, he's got this big mission, but he still, like, has to pitch in as a spy for the government and do, like, a bunch of other shit. And it's fucking tiring. This dude is tired. But here's the problem. Because there's a problem. There's definitely a problem. And the problem is that the neighbors are talking about how Lloyd's not a great dad. He's not a great husband because he's working all the time and he's not with his family. Which, one, mind your fucking business. But two, he takes being a spy very seriously and he needs them to be like normal and not stand out like a good family. Even though, hey buddy, sorry to tell you this, a lot of families aren't like they're just doing their thing. And also, these ladies are going to gossip about whatever. You got to understand, these ladies are just going to gossip. They're not, this is, like, you being a good dad isn't going to shut them up. Unfortunately. They should just be cool. They won't be cool. They're nosy neighbors. Anyway, he's like, you know what? What do you got there? You drawing of a penguin? You drawing a penguin? Great. Let's go to the aquarium. That makes me a good family person. We got family trip to the aquarium, and we'll, like, tell people we're going and make a big deal about it. He's exhausted. Shouldn't be going to the aquarium. Also, hey, guess what? Coincidentally, he's got a mission at the aquarium. Some people from another country are trying to get some secrets about a weapon. And possibly using a penguin to move said information. So, we got to know what's going on with that. I'm just going to turn off markers here. I'll figure that out for another stream. So we got to figure out what's going on there. He doesn't want to do this. He just wants to, spend time with the family because he wants to focus on the main mission. And also he's very tired. But he gets roped into it. Anya has a fucking great time. They run into the nosy neighbors. So now he can't because he was like, oh, I'll just duck out, take care of business and get back in. But now he has to kind of do it in a way that doesn't, doesn't show people up or, tip his hat. This aquarium rules. It just has so many penguins and Anya's just having a fucking great time. And then, we've got Lloyd trying to be devoted father and husband and also figure out what shit is up and what needs to get done. So he's trying to do both. It's very 70s sitcom-y where he's trying to juggle both and try not to fuck up either. But luckily he gets an assist from Anya. Anya gives the big assist because, her telepathy powers come in and she's just that one penguin is having trouble breathing. Because she can hear that, and then he's just oh yeah, that penguin is having trouble breathing. Huh. I wonder if that's the penguin. So then we get Lloyd in his Agent 47 best, knocking out a person, taking over for that person, disguising himself, blending right in, using his knowledge of aquariums that he has learned, his vast knowledge of things to blend in and figure shit out. And then, boom. Finds out with a penguin, gets approached by somebody who is trying to, retrieve that penguin. That's the other, spy. That's that is the suspect. The guy runs though, and then there's a bunch of shenanigans. Also, Lloyd is holding a penguin, so he can't really do a bunch of stuff while holding this penguin. But Anya sees all of this. And Anya's I'm going to help. So Anya just grabs this dude's coat And so she's just getting like pulled along by this, which is dangerous. Shouldn't be doing this, girl. Come on, girl. You're in danger. But luckily, knowing something is wrong, not knowing why it's wrong is just like, well, I'm definitely gonna like kick the hell out of this this person that's grabbed my daughter. And so she saves the day, and then she's like, oops, I overdid it. But Lloyd finds the guy. They're going to figure out what's going on. They're going to get information they need. And then people are talking shit about Lloyd. Anya's just out here ruining people's entire lives. Look, Anya is a great character because she is a all-knowing psychic, but also a little girl that doesn't understand consequences. And it makes for a very entertaining combination where she does think that things are very exciting, but it's because otherwise she should be too scared to do anything. But she's not too scared to do anything. She can still do stuff because it is fucking exciting. The world that she is currently a part of is cool as hell. Yeah, Lloyd's getting dumped on for being like an uncaring father and not being around and all kinds of stuff from these fucking people that don't know shit about shit. But then he appears and he's like, oh, sorry, I got distracted. Dude lost so many teeth even before he went through the ceiling. Indeed. But don't use penguins in your fucking chicanery. If you're getting up to shit, leave the penguins alone. You're hurting that goddamn penguin. No sympathy from this guy. No sympathy. Gonna hurt that penguin. Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, Anya gets a stuffed penguin because he was like, oh, I got distracted trying to win this penguin. Sorry about that. But here's the stuffed penguin is bigger than Anya, and that rules. That penguin is bigger than Anya. It is great. And then everybody ends up playing. They make Anya kind of upset, but then they end up playing with Anya, and they play Spy, and that's the end of the episode. And that's cute and kind of fun. And even though he's like he wants to, Lloyd wants to blend in and not stand out by being a good dad. He's still like the neighborhood will still know that's a good dad, dude. That dad means well and is doing some good stuff, and that's fun. All right, so we can have our kitty sit down or stand up. Our weird feet here, and then we got to put the front piece on. We'll see if we want to panel line any of this. So that's Spy Family. Now, I should say. This is the third season of, we're going back to Kaguya-sama Love is War. This is the third season of Kaguya-sama Love is War. It's called Ultra Romantic. That's important. The name Ultra Romantic is important to the story. Because, so these episodes ran back to back in Japan, episode 12 and 13, or double length episode 12, depending on who you talk to, which is fine. They can't make up their goddamn mind about that. Anyway, there is going to be more. There is going to be like a marathon in Japan, and I think during that marathon they're going to say what more means. Could that be OVAs? I don't know. Could that be a new series? I don't know. They haven't said. They just said there's more. Kaguya-sama Love is War is not over. But season 3 is over. And there are like... The big thing that you wanted happened, but not all of the big things happened. But like the big thing happened. Like the thing you would expect to be the big thing, it fucking definitely happened here. And that is, holy shit, episode 13. They kiss. They fucking kiss. One big thing about these two episodes, not enough Chica. This season had they introduced so many new characters and so many new things happening that someone had to suffer. story time wise or storyline wise, and that was Chika. Chika did not have she had some fun in these 2 episodes, but she did not have a big thing. So we are left with, by the end of episode 13, our main character is going to Stanford. Shirogane is going to Stanford, and he has asked Kaguya to go with him to also apply to Stanford and go overseas to be with him. Does he admit that he has feelings for her? No. She kisses him, but she also doesn't admit. And they're both like peeved about that. They want the other to say it. They still need that. The big thing of these 2 episodes is ultra romantic. We had heard ultra romantic earlier in the season where like Ishigami had like this terrible idea of like a grand gesture. And then we hear it twice. We hear, okay, Kaguya's got a plan. She's lighting the bonfire with an arrow, which is badass and cool. And she's like, I'm going to do this badass and cool thing in front of him. And then like be very casual and like, and then I'm going to confess. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be heartfelt. I'm going to tell him, what he means to me. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to confess because he isn't confessing. So she's like, I'm going to do this. This is the ultra romantic plan. And then her assistant, is like emotionally invested in this. Like not just like in her going for it. She's like gung ho about it. She's like really thinking this is happening, and she's proud. And it's nice. It's a nice little thing for the character that is mostly emotionally unavailable and seemingly consistently plotting things is like fucking chill and cool about it and supportive. That's nice. So while that's happening, I'm going to jump around between these 2 episodes. While that's happening, there's been somebody who's been stealing balloons, all of the heart-shaped balloons. Somebody's been stealing the goddamn balloons, and they've been leaving clues and go with this whole thing. And that's Chika has been like trying to solve the case and figuring out who's doing this shit and like thinking too hard about it. And that was a plan, was to keep him or her isolated, I should say, so that she didn't screw anything up, because she is a force of nature that you cannot control. Because all of this was an ultra romantic plot by Shirogane to have this grand moment where he's done all this stuff and presents her with a bunch of hearts and this huge amazing thing to set the stage for her to confess to him. We finished the Kitty, by the way. Kitty is done. We put Kitty sitting there just looking all cute. We built Kitty. The other part's going to be longer, but Kitty is done. Kitty didn't take too long to build. It's an intergrade kit. I knew it wouldn't. But we built Kitty, and then we can now, we'll just put Kitty here. We can now build the Char Zaku 2, which we need to build to then stick Kitty on and complete all of that. So we gotta do that. And we gotta do all that. Okay. Anyway, so he's been the Phantom Thief. He created all this stuff to move people around. He's been like manipulating behind the scenes for a really long time. He stole all these balloons. He put them in a bigger balloon. He got some help, so he could do this grand, amazing thing and set the scene. And then she doesn't confess, immediately does agree to also try to get into the school he's going to, and then also does indeed kiss him, which is adorable and great. And the very end of the episode, after the last song, Chika is running into, this is sometime later, not much later, but sometime later, Chika runs into the student council with a new original board game from the board game club, which is called back to something that happened before. But now we also have Ino in there, who had joined later. But everybody, here's the big difference. They're standing behind a desk, and Shirogane and Kaguya are holding hands. The show about this couple that liked each other, but they weren't actually a couple. They are now some sort of couple by the end of it. This could be the last thing of the show, and I wouldn't be too sad about it because it is a good ending to it. I think I would say solid ending to it. Now the other story that's happening while that's happening is Ishigami he wants to confess to the cheer captain Tsubame, but he is scared to do that. And he doesn't realize, oh wait, he already did confess to her. Because when you give a heart-shaped object to someone at this festival, that is a love confession. He gave her, just to say thank you in general, he gave her a heart-shaped cookie, and she was like, I need to think about this. And he didn't understand what she meant by that. He had no idea. But she basically meant like, hey, I didn't know that you had feelings for me. I have to think about it. So he's like, he hasn't understood that this whole time that everybody knows that he confessed to her. Like, he has no idea that happened. But she eventually is just like, look, I can't answer you right now. He starts talking about like this one tree and how the blossoms don't flow like sakura. It's just like a different kind of tree, but there's something beautiful about it anyway. And she's just like, I don't have an answer for you right now, but I don't want to string you along and I don't want to hurt you, which is nice. Iron Hide the Force says, how far in the SD Zaku are you? We've barely got anything. We did the kitty portion. We have barely gotten any into this kit. We're on the body right now. So very little of the SD Zaku 2 has been, Char Zaku 2 has been completed. But we're working on it. Anyway, it's great. As I said, because he doesn't understand that he confessed, he's like, I don't know what she means by more time. And he's like, oh. He's like, well, we can wait till March when it blossoms. And she's like, you'd wait till March? Like, that's too nice of you. And he's like, yeah, whatever. And then later during the school play, he's like, wait, does she think I confessed to her? Because he is chickened out of doing so. And he's like, oh, maybe. Yes, Ironhide. Previously, months ago, I built the Hello Kitty RX-782. And when I put the kitty head on the RX-782, I did put the RX-782 body or head on the Hello Kitty body, thus making kind of strong bad. Not really strong bad, but kind of strong bad. Yes, so I will be doing that when all of this is said and done. Yes, but good looking out. But yeah, I am aware of that being just a thing you can do, and that being a very silly, good idea. So we will be doing that. But anyway, it's left with him not being really sure if he asked her out or not. Like, he's like not fully sure if that happened, which is like, come on, dude, fucking figure shit out. But yeah, anyway, he's not sure if he did ask her out or not, which I think is pretty funny. And then he has a nice moment with Ino, who he probably should be dating because they have that like people who respect each other but also like talk a lot of mess about each other kind of vibe going. You imagine they would get together. Anyway, and that's Kaguya-sama Love is War. There was not a weird sound-alike for an 80s song in these two episodes. That already happened this season twice, so we didn't have that. I think these are well laid out. The all of the red balloons that got let out and then were flying through the air because of the fire, that effect was done. That was the CG effect that happened. The only like CGI effect, and it wasn't a bad one, but it did feel jarring because this show up until that point didn't have any of that, because why would it? So that was a little weird. Is there any other things from this episode that I wanted to say? These 2 episodes? No. Oh, there was a montage of like the 2 characters being together, which I thought was very cute. But yeah. Not enough Chica in season 3. I still think season 1 is still my favorite. I liked this better than season 2. But I still really like this show. I generally don't like tsundere style characters, but I don't think this show features tsundere style characters because they are aware of their feelings, where often tsundere characters are not aware of said feelings. So I think in this instance, it totally works because they do know they're just scheming, and I think their schemes are good. Just put a little marker here on the tubes here. I could use gray since this is a light pink, but I think the black is going to be really striking, and there won't be a lot of marker on this kit, so I'm going to do that. I don't mind this looking cartoonish because I think it's always going to look cartoonish because... I will hydrate. Thank you very much, Dirty. It's always going to look cartoonish because eventually Hello Kitty's head is going to be on this kit, so it's going to look cartoonish. So that's the world of anime. I will talk about episode, I believe, 10 of Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie. That's the only show left with new episodes. I'll talk about that on Monday. And then also on Monday I will be talking about Birdie Wing, a show that I have not watched any episodes yet, but I will be watching 2 episodes, maybe 3, but at least 2 of that series so that I can give you my actual thoughts on it. But yeah, I would normally probably just use a gray on this pink because it is so light. It's almost like a white. But I do want that contrast of some of these like darker colors on here because I do want this to feel very cartoonish because it is. It should be silly. All right, so let's... we did that. Did the body. Now let's do... I guess we'll do the right leg, which feels weird. Why do we do the legs before we do the arms and the waist? Whatever. We'll do the right leg of Char Zaku too. We'll get a foot done. Part of the foot there. Okay. One thing I did want to say, a follow-up to a thing I talked about previously. The United Workers of 7Cs, the UW7S, have been voluntarily recognized by 7Cs as a union based on a majority card check. Basically, they were like, look, if enough people say they want to be a union, we'll acknowledge you as a union. So this is a translation. This is the localization teams for employees and such, 7Cs, which blew up pretty fast over the last couple of years. They unionized, and their union was voluntarily recognized. And they say, the decision by 7Cs eliminates the need for an NLRB-conducted election and will pave the way for a more expedited path to bargaining a first contract. At a time when many employees continue to fight for unionization of their employees, appreciate 7Cs decided to respect the voices of the majority of staff and recognize us. That is awesome. I think 7Cs was just seeing, kind of vibing on how the wind blows here. And especially lots of young people are like starting to get interested in unions more and more. And I think they just were like, instead of our business being disrupted, let's just, agree in good faith. Now, will they... Time will tell if they are going to approach the bargaining process with any sort of, speed and understanding and all of that. That obviously is left to be said. But this information came out yesterday, and shit sucks. So it's not that it rightly, I believe, slipped under the radar of some anime and manga folks because there were other things to yell about. which makes sense that is true. But I was reading about it today, and I thought that it was awesome, and it's nice to have something to talk about that was positive. Because shit's fucked. And it's nice to have something to be like, but you know what's pretty cool? Unions. And they are. So, good luck to them as they now fight for respective contracts. Hey, Lord Crashington, welcome. I finished the Kenbu. I built Kitty. There's Kitty. And now we're working on Char Zaku 2. SD or EX, depending on. I believe these are just the SDs. The minis. We're working on a Char Zaku 2 mini to put on there. And I guess now's the part of the stream where I ask you, hey, what are you playing? What are you watching? What are you engaging with stuff? I'm getting excited for Forbidden. We talked about Forbidden Door earlier. I am looking forward to watching that tomorrow night. I did some D&D today. My throat is a little scratchy because of that. That was really fun. My crew is spectacular. This was the I ran a table for we played Fiasco, which allows me to use my improv muscles, which is really fun. And not everyone in the group is an improviser in this particular combination of people, but it was really fun, and they had a good time. The dice were in their favor, and so I wanted it to go well. And we had a good adventure. And we met a mystical bird that kept telling us that it was a phoenix. It was not a phoenix. It was just a bird that lies. And that was very fun because after the session, we were just kind of hanging out a little bit. And someone was just like, Pat, was that bird ever going to be a phoenix? And I was like, no. From the moment that I talked about a bird and one of you was like, I bet that bird there's something interesting about that bird. I made the decision that there was nothing interesting about that bird, and that bird was just a liar. Like, that's the interesting thing about that bird is just going to be lying and a bragger. And then got in over its head and then made up some stuff about being secretly a phoenix. And I was like, no, that bird is just a jerk. And it was very fun. That was a good time. I don't often run games, but it's fun to do little one-offs. Okay, if hearing from y'all. Dirty says, been playing ESOs, finishing up a few quests, and then I'm going to go look at the new card game they added to it. Oh, okay, getting in some card game shenanigans. Lasper says, I've been eyeing stuff on Discotheque sale all week. It came pretty close to watching Scried. Oh, God, Scried. Instead, decided to save my money for now, and I've been watching it on Crunchyroll for a good chunk of the day. Yeah, Scried. I definitely... Someday I wouldn't mind watching the sub of that, because I only watched it dubbed. And I couldn't tell when I was watching it if the localization, if the English translation was missing something, or if it just wasn't, if it was like good to look at, but like there was like was I missing something about the plot, or was it like, oh, you were meant to, okay, for the first watching was meant to be buying. Oh, okay. You pay close to buying Scried, and instead you're watching it on Crunchyroll instead of buying it through Discotheque. I get that now. That makes more sense. Yeah. Because you were like, oh, I almost watched it, and then I watched it. I was like, well, I don't know what you mean. This is the right leg. This is the left leg. That's fine. Put that over here so that I build it later. But yeah, I don't know if that just has holes in it or if it was like the translation at the time. But I could see myself going back and watching some fights of that. Lord Crasher says, still watching Yu Yu Hakusho and finished the first tournament with Genki and in the Demon of the Week stuff after that. Feels like a bunch of Funimation stuff on Hulu is leaving, which I assume means it's going back to Crunchyroll. So, yeah, It depends on who got the stuff licensed, but basically, Hulu does not want to pay Sony for a bunch of the stuff that they had licensed with Funimation before Funimation bought Sony. So it kind of doesn't have anything necessarily to do with Crunchyroll, except it has the larger thing to do with Sony Sony wants you to get Crunchyroll. Sony needs you to get Crunchyroll. They want you to pay for Crunchyroll. They don't want you to watch stuff on Hulu. Now, there used to be some Funimation stuff that wouldn't appear on Hulu and would only be on Funimation. But there often was a lot that was on both. And that's going to be less and less. And yeah, some of that stuff is going to just come off Hulu. But also, yeah, the Monster of the Week stuff, Laura Gratchton, I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. The anime only arc with the guys who are because they've been exposed to Yusuke and other people are starting to get like powers because the barriers or whatever. That arc isn't good, but it is like kind of interesting. It does feature one of my favorite scenes with Yusuke, which is a guy that can read minds is like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I can read your mind. I know what you're going to do before you do it. You can't stop me, Yusuke. And he's just like, I'm going to punch you. I'm going to punch him. I'm going to punch him. And then the guy's like, ha, what is that even, like, how do you think? And then he just gets punched in the face. Because knowing you're going to get punched in the face doesn't mean shit when you're facing someone very strong and very fast. Yusuke can punch him. It doesn't matter because he is fucking so strong. It doesn't matter that the guy knows he's going to get punched. Dude's going to get punched. And I always thought that was like really fun and such a very fun idea. That is how Yusuke just like solves that problem. He's just like, yeah, it doesn't matter that you know I'm going to punch you. Fucking get punched. I did like how Yusuke wins his last two matches of the tournament through pure luck, while the first was skill and luck. Yes, a lot of Yusuke's wins is luck based. He is not he is an overpowered main character, but he is not a purely overpowered main character. He does have many instances where he is very lucky to be alive. And he maybe shouldn't have been alive for what was going on. Because instead of power creep, he just faces people he is too strong, that are too strong for him to fight. Which I think is reasonable. Because he also, like, a lot of Yusuke's fights are because people underestimate him. Which, fair, you know. Okay, so are these the wrong spots? B2. This one's got to be 12. And then this is 11. Do I have 12 and 11? I do. Okay. So why is this not clip in right? Am I doing this wrong? Much like Goku, he could just die constantly, come back easily with strings. Yes. Yeah, he's got a get out of jail free card early on. And then eventually he doesn't need that get out of jail free card because he's just gets strong enough. All right. Is it supposed to go like this? No. This is the only way this can go. Why is, when I connect these two parts, why does this look like it doesn't... Why does this not want to snap together? Why is this not working, friends? I don't have the answer. I just know that this is not doing it. Like, this should just clip in. Like, if I take this out, these parts, yeah, like these want to snap together. They want to work, but there needs to be the middle part in between to connect them all together. It's not working. I don't know why. Very fun. And by very fun, I mean this sucks. All right, so let's see. I'm going to try to get this together here. But yeah, if you're playing anything, you're watching anything, we got a few new viewers. Welcome. We're working on right now we're working on Hello Kitty Char Zaku 2. So we built the Hello Kitty. This is basically like the entry grade Hello Kitty. Very easy to put together. Now we're building the SD Char Zaku 2. And then there's some other component parts here that we can put on the Hello Kitty head to then put the Hello Kitty head on the Char Zaku 2 body, thus making Hello Kitty Zaku 2. And then we can take the Zaku 2 head, which they don't tell you to do, but you can, and put it on Hello Kitty's body, which is just silly and fun. I can't figure out why this doesn't want to work. Here's the only other thing I can think of. Do I have this on upside down? Because if I do, that'll make a lot of sense. I did have it on upside down. I had the piece on upside down, and that's why it didn't want to work. Hello, and there we go. Dirty says, I got nostalgic and watched my science project. Saw a pre-band from India, Fisher Stevens. Oh, boy. And in Hard Space Shipbreaker news, Lord Crashington blew himself up with a nuclear reactor I botched the removal of. Oh, you don't want to botch that. You definitely don't want to botch that. That'll ruin your goddamn day. So you quit out without saving to avoid dealing with the mess that Bonehead moved. Yes. Sometimes you just want to be like, you know what? That didn't happen. We're going to rewrite history right there. The thing that just happened, did it. Not a problem at all. Who's to know? Not me. I won't say anything. Okay, so our next stream is on Monday. We are going to finish the Zaku 2. And then we're going to put everything together. And then we're either going to work on... I think we'll either work on the Lego... Or I think we're going to work on the Lego because I have it. Because I don't have Ho yet, but that is coming. So we're going to do that. I am going to shoot a video. The Lego came late today, so I didn't shoot that. So I'm going to shoot that tomorrow. And then so that way Monday I can build it. But that'll be the next thing we'll work on. Next thing we'll work on is a Lego set. I can show it to you right here. The Fantasy Forest 3-in-1 is right here. Fantasy Forest 3-in-1 is the next thing I'll be building. You make an owl and a bunny and squirrel, and it's cute as hell. And it's like a purple owl, and that's just fun. So that'll be the next thing after that. But obviously, Zaku 2 still needs to get built, which we will get to. And I think that's going to do it for the stream. I think that's where we're leaving off. We are going to raid. Obviously, that is how we end every stream, is with a raid. We got to end with a raid. To go hang out with somebody in the community doing cool shit that has a fun vibe that we like. Maybe they're a model kit builder. They often aren't. But they are going to be cool people that we want to go hang out with. So we're going to do that. Go see what's going on in the world, and see what they're up to. So who are we going to go hang out with here? Who's doing stuff that we want to go see what's going on? Let's see. Wiggins is playing Deathloop. We often raid Wiggins on a Saturday because Wiggins consistently streams on Saturdays and also has a very nice community of folks. So we're going to go raid Matt Wiggins. Feel free to come along on this raid as he plays some Deathloop because he wants to. I also like that. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your Saturday night. I hope you come along on this raid. I hope that on Monday you come back so that we can build this Zaku 2 and so we can put Kitty's head on that Zaku 2 because that's just silly and why not? And then we'll work on a Lego set after that. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I will talk to you again in the future. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.